the idea that someone without a lot of money can do their research on a company or a coin or a token and invest in that and potentially 20, 50, 100x, especially if they understand at least so far how the market cycle has gone. Like right now, we haven't even, well, maybe we'll look back and say we're in a bull market, but historically we're not yet. And so, we're about to hit that halving event that has caused this trajectory of all of the coins to go up in the end. Well, not all of them, but you know what I'm saying? Like the vast majority of the market to get a ton of money into, a ton of dollars into. And it allows, because, if you're just a regular person without a high net worth, you're not even allowed to invest in projects unless you're an accredited investor, which is complete bullshit.
It's sort of like democratizing angel investing.
Yes.
So there's this class of angel investors, they can put 10, 20, 50K into a project and basically earn 30, 50, 100x moon, And now this is saying any regular Joe can do the same thing with the token, but also it's better than that because they can have instant liquidity. You can sell it on the exchange versus with a angel investment, you're locked in for 3 to 5 years, and who knows whether you'll ever get your money out. So you need a way higher risk appetite. So this is making angel investing, fully liquid angel investing, open to everyone. And that's what's so disruptive about crypto, essentially, at the end of the day. So you can do your own research and do all that stuff. But anything that brings a lot of institutional liquidity, like, for example, the Bitcoin ETFs, now you've got big BlackRock money coming directly into Bitcoin, and Bitcoin's sort of the feeder funnel where all the liquidity percolates down to a lot of the other tokens, and that's why a lot of tokens are super correlated with Bitcoin. But actually the day that the Bitcoin ETFs were announced was the same day we announced our funding of the 20 million that we raised as well for our token. So that was just totally coincidence, but it's been super interesting to see how that's had an effect on the market and the different catalysts that will happen in the future. So,
but this thing, like Tune FM is going up as a coin, basically, for instance, 2019, we were launching what's called United Cancer Centers. We were doing it in a security token offering. So we went through the SEC. We were going to be one of the first people to actually do a token offering.
Oh, wow.
That was SEC approved.
Like a true security token.
Yes, we were doing a security token.
Yeah.
And
STO.
STO. And we were early to the party. We didn't succeed in raising the money. COVID happened. Fundraiser fell kind of flat on its face. But it was really a great idea. We were going to be the first institution to implement the new right to try legislation.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Cancer centers throughout the United States, and our team was amazing.
That's cool.
But we were early. If we would have done it if we were just like raising money in a regular format, not in a security token offering, we would have done it. I'm so glad we didn't now because we're a lot further along with things that are just as important, maybe more important to the world. And our initial idea will get done eventually, but it's going to be even better now that we didn't succeed on that security token offering. But I say all that because these platforms offer such an opportunity for the little person. You think about the United States. The United States is the last beacon of hope for entrepreneurship. You can't start a company pretty much anywhere else in the world and have the opportunity. An immigrant comes to the United States, they're 3 times more likely to become a millionaire than someone's born here.
Yeah.
Why? Because they see the American dream. But crypto in many ways reminds me so much of that. Like you were talking about, like the angel investing. It gives people that opportunity to, really be a part of something early on. And we're still really, really early.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's very much rooted in American fundamentals of entrepreneurial spirit and everything. But it's super important financial disruption, because Silicon Valley is very much an insider's club. It's like for the bros, and they also invest in very like niche kind of things. Every fund has a thesis. So they only basically invest in okay, we've decided to do B2B SaaS companies that are making an ARR of 1 to 3 million per year.
Right.
If you don't fit, if you're a square peg in a round hole, if you don't fit that perfectly yet, you're not getting a check from that company.
Yeah.
Most of them have a super narrow thesis. And even if they say they don't, like, they do, because they have their check size and they have what they're looking for, you know? And it's really a tiny sliver of the possible businesses and business models that are out there. And if we actually wouldn't survive if it wasn't for crypto.
Right.
I mean, we had so much working against us. First off, we're a music company. I can't tell you how many times I've heard, are you kidding me? We won't touch music with a 10-foot pole.
Right.
There's so many dead bodies out there in the music. Everyone and their grandmother wants to start a little music app, right? It's almost like laughed out of the room.
Right.
Like, why would you waste your time on music? The industry is a disaster. Blah, blah, blah. It's super shisty, shady, whatever. Sketchy characters. So there's music, right?
Right.
And then we're a marketplace. So they're like, oh, man, that must be hard. Like, you got the chicken and egg problem. Like, you got to have the supply side. You have the demand side. And like a music marketplace, like, okay, sayonara, uninvestable. That's just really hard road to go down, huge mountain to climb. If you can pull it off, like, hats off to you. You know, this is the type of feedback we're getting. And then we're a consumer product, so we're not B2B. So the table stakes for consumers, like, you need millions of users for anyone to take you seriously, not a few hundred. With B2B, you have a few hundred paying customers, you're like golden. You know, you can raise VC dollars left and right. So consumer, music, marketplace, all these things are hard. And now you can add in Web3. Like, oh, well, yeah, we can't really touch Web3. It's too complicated. The accounting is a nightmare, blah, blah, blah. But now that we are Web3 and we have our token, I don't need any VC. I've had 1,000 VC meetings. Now we can raise money on the token, not just from retail investors, but institutional people who buy the token, private equity firms who are way more sophisticated than VCs. You know, they can look at the investment in a very like financialized way where say, okay, we get this discount, we have this way of buying the token, and we have this purchase program, this facility, and they can create these sophisticated financial products and investment strategies around tokens because they're liquid, right? So it's just way more their ball game, the way they've done investments in small and mid-cap public companies. They can take those structures and bring them to the token markets. And so there's a lot of big multi-billion-dollar private equity firms that are really sort of like the new VCs of this era. But you can basically go at it with retail and bootstrap it with retail because, like, hey, you know, in order to build a product, you still got to pay your engineers, you know? Like, we have the best engineers in the world, and, like, they still need to eat and provide for their families. So it's like you can only get so much for free. And, you know, we've raised a few angel checks here and there, you know, 20, 50K at a time for several years before we, like, really released the token and started financing the company that way. And our first angel investor is Andy Hertzfeld, who co-created the Macintosh, which is pretty cool.
Oh, that's awesome.
And we've had a lot of great people who believed in my vision and sort of looked past, you know, the doubters. And we've had some, you know, institutional stuff, but really this company didn't really take off until we decided to go full-blown Web3, have our own token. And without that, we wouldn't be able to do what we're able to do now.